How strong is Sasuke, as in Sasuke post losing the Rinnegan? Now, as I said in my video about how strong is Naruto post nerf, I think we need to do a very simple thing, as in start from the beginning, which would be their base genetics. And of course, that would mean Sasuke being an Uchiha. The Uchiha are descendants of Indra Otsutsuki, and through Indra, the Uchiha inherited Hagoromo's eye in the form of the Sharingan, granting them powerful spiritual energy and chakra. Now, Sasuke doesn't have any feats in base during the Boruto era since his Rinnegan was always active, but he does have feats using EMS after losing his Rinnegan, with him keeping up and actually overpowering Borushiki, albeit that was Borushiki who had no chakra, so it's somewhat of a feat but not by a lot. Now, while Sasuke doesn't have anywhere near the amounts of chakra Naruto has, his chakra reserves are way higher than the average Jonin, and it's also very potent. His chakra reserves have also increased in Boruto similar to Naruto due to years of training. Although losing an arm and an eye would reduce his chakra pool since, as I explained earlier, chakra draws from the 13 trillion cells in your body and your spiritual energy to manifest. So if Sasuke is missing an entire arm and an eye, that means that he has less cells to draw from if we're being technical about it. On top of the fact that he no longer has the Rinnegan's chakra. Now we also have to acknowledge that while the Rinnegan itself was a source of chakra for Sasuke, it also took a toll on his physical energy, thus affecting his normal chakra output. So he will run out of chakra less frequently going forward since he no longer has the Rinnegan, but he also has less potent chakra due to losing the Rinnegan, so it's kind of a lose-lose situation for him. Now Sasuke still has the Sharingan, which allows him to use Genjutsu and see chakra even at a cellular level. In combat, this allows him to see fast moving objects, and once fully developed, offers some amount of predictive capabilities, which means that he can anticipate his opponent's next move based on the slightest muscle tension in their body and act accordingly to dodge or intercept. Now, this also requires him to be able to adapt accordingly, which means that his body has to be able to move to the same speed that his Sharingan can perceive the opponent's movements. For the simple fact that not because you're able to perceive something, that doesn't mean you're able to react to that perception. So Sasuke does need the bodily movements or the reaction speed to be able to even use this ability efficiently. This specific ability was seen in use when Sasuke perceived the 4th Raikage and dodged this attack using the Sharingan, while the Raikage utilized the lightning chakra cloak that's stated to be near light speed, and he did this using his 3 Tome Sharingan. So this would technically be a feat for both combat and reaction speed, since he didn't just dodge the attack, he was also able to attack the Raikage at relative speeds. Now you could make the argument that the Raikage was not going at full speed since he was later able to blitz a Mangekyo Sharingan Sasuke in that fight using the version 2 cloak. However, Sasuke did later implant Itachi's eyeballs and awaken the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, which is stated to remove the risk of going blind, and it also amped his power by a considerable amount. Speaking of lightning cloak, Sasuke seemed to have developed a version of that technique in his adult years, which he used against Momoshiki and Jigen. However, it's important to note that we don't know how much of a buff this cloak provides, but if we do go off the visual aspects, it doesn't seem to be on the same level as the Raikage's version 1 cloak, since it's not generating the same amount of lightning, which is basically what provides the speed amp. So we're not able to quantify the amount of amp it gives to Sasuke, so I don't know how to quantify it in a battle, but it is there and Sasuke can use it to amp his speed. Aside from that, Sasuke still has Chidori with all its variants, Amaterasu, Killing, Animal Summons, ability to use all 5 chakra natures, Izanagi, Izanami, and of course Susanoo. And the Susanoo is pretty durable, but it's not indestructible. It gives him the ability to use Susanoo arrows and also the ability to fly if it's in its perfected form. And while in this perfected form, it's stated to have the strength that can rival the Biju. The problem with that statement is that it was only in reference to Madara's perfect Susanoo, which was amplified by Hagoromo's 6 paths chakra, since he also had the Rinnegan. Then the version of Sasuke's Susanoo that was able to rival Naruto's 9 tails was also amped by Hagoromo's 6 paths chakra. So the question would be, is Susanoo able to rival the tail beast without this power? We know that dojutsus do supply the user with immense chakra, as seen with Sasuke saying that he can feel Itachi's power flowing into him after implanting his eyes, and Obito stating that the chakra and ocular power from just one of Madara's Rinnegans was too too much for him to handle. We also have Kakashi saying that he can still feel the 6 paths chakra in Obito's eyes after he gave them back to him in the fight against Kaguya. This confirms that the eyes themselves contains and supplies chakra. Then you add Madara saying that you must have both eyes to unleash your true power, and Obito saying that a dojutsu's true power can't be unleashed until the original owner has both eyeballs. This means that along with Sasuke no longer having the Rinnegan 6 paths chakra buff to boost his power, he's also short an entire eyeball, which means that he can never unleash the true power of his EMS. This means that his remaining EMS would be weaker than it was before, thus making him slower and less powerful. This also brings into question his ability to use the perfect Susanoo, since he was only able to use that Susanoo after getting the Rinnegan from Hagoromo, which gave him Hagoromo's 6 paths chakra he no longer has. Yes, Madara was able to use his Susanoo even while blind, but that was a regular humanoid Susanoo, not a perfect Susanoo. He then had to retreat to get his Rinnegan from Black Zetsu after almost dying. If he was able to use his perfect Susanoo that rivaled the Biju, he would have done so, but he didn't, which implies that he couldn't. This all leads back to an Uchiha needing both dojutsus to unleash their true power, and the perfect Susanoo being referred to as the ultimate power by the Uchiha. It's likely the case that Sasuke won't be able to access this power without both of his eyes, but even if he could, it still would be way less powerful than it was before, since he's missing one of his eyeballs. I say all of this not to rag on Sasuke, but just to give us an idea of where he should scale in the series currently. Because a lot of people don't understand that losing an eye is an actual downgrade, because people think that Sasuke only lost the Rinnegan when he lost 2 eyes, as in he lost the Rinnegan and one of his eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, so he's like 1 eye less overall. So a lot of people don't seem to realize that for some reason, which is weird. But yeah, Sasuke lost a lot of power, similar to how Naruto lost a lot of power, because people think that Naruto is the only one who lost a big buff, which is weird. And a lot of people don't understand that the Rinnegan does boost your physical stats, as shown throughout the series, with Madara becoming way stronger after getting his Rinnegan, and becoming way stronger after getting another Rinnegan. And it's implied that you become stronger after getting another dojutsu, as it's implied that you become stronger after getting one dojutsu. It's just a very simple logic. Now Sasuke still does scale high, because we have this weird scaling with fatigued, beaten up, like chakra drained Sasuke post Ishiki fight, like fighting on par with Borushiki, who just healed Boruto's body. So this is Boruto non-fatigued, because his body was just healed by Momoshiki, because it was crushed by Ishiki. And this is Momoshiki, who was just lying there resting throughout the entire fight. Not Ishiki, Momoshiki. Lying there resting throughout the entire fight, and Sasuke was still able to keep up and overpower him. And he even said that Sasuke is a threat and he might not come out of this battle unscathed if he fights Sasuke. He didn't even care about Kawaki. So Sasuke still scales high even while fatigued and almost dying, bleeding out and everything. Just imagine a full power Sasuke that's not none of those things. So I think Sasuke scales pretty high. I don't know how to gauge him like definitively to say that okay, he's the second strongest or the third strongest or whatever, but he's still one of the strongest characters in the entire Shinobi world, to be honest. So it'll be interesting to see how they do his character going forward, because he was done dirty in Boruto. I'm just gonna say he was done dirty, let's be honest. But let's see if they fix him up, or if they're gonna kill him before they do that. We don't know for sure, but he might get a power up, who knows. It's always possible for Sasuke to get a power up. It's fairly easy, right? It could be like learning a jutsu from the village, or getting a scientific upgrade from Amado, or an organic upgrade from Orochimaru. It's still possible. We'll see how it plays out. I think the only way that happens is if we get this great Otsutsuki threat that it requires multiple Otsutsuki tier characters to fight them. That's the only way I see them powering up Naruto and Sasuke, but it's always on the books. It might happen, so Sasuke fans, just, you know, cross your fingers and hope for the best. But yeah, if you guys like the video, drop a like. If you're new, subscribe, and comment on the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, of course, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.